Welcome to another episode of Can Blue, a hockey podcast covering the New York Rangers and the Montreal Canadiens. I'm your Rangers host, Ben.
I'm your Canadiens host, Brendan.
And the way that Brendan is talking and looks right now is probably how most Canadiens fans feel right now.
Yeah, my allergies, sneezing, eyes are acting up. Just last night's game with the Leafs was just unbearable.
We've been
Not
talking
good.
a lot of smack for the against the Leafs, so it was probably time that they put up.
It wasn't a good show for the most part.
Unfortunate.
As I've been saying like a broken record, but we'll get into that.
Yeah. A couple things around the league and around Hockey Nation as a whole. Big in the news this week was the NCAA and the Canadian Hockey League coming to an agreement where the Canadian juniors, if a player goes to play in the Canadian juniors, they actually now can go on to play in the NCAA. It used to be if you chose one path, you
have to stick to it.
Yeah, you couldn't switch, which is good for growing the game, making people more. I think it's going to raise the performance, or it's going to get more challenging because there's going to be more like higher level players in both. But it does raise some questions as far as like if you don't have ice time, let's say, and you're playing on BC, are you going to just transfer to? Because right now there's a lot of transfers inter-school, but now you can transfer leagues. So like, what happens if you're on a college team, you're not getting time, you go over to?
I feel like not everyone could be able to do it, like, because I feel like every player that wants to go to the NHL would, one point or another, switch over, right?
Maybe, but I mean, both have been proven tracks to get to the NHL. If you do well in the juniors and if you do well at the NCAA, you're going to get drafted. And it's just a matter of keep proving it to those scouts and those player development people. But I know people were just worried about what happens if you're on a junior team, you're not doing well, you leave because a college team has a spot, and then you come back. It's just like, it's going to be weird. They're going to have to work that out.
I could see how there could be a lot of disputes or like with the movement.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't want a guy like Celebrini just leaving the squad to play in another league.
Right.
Like,
well, I think of our guy Gabe Perreault, who is just like doing so well at BC. Like, imagine, I mean, it's not for those types of players, I would think. Like, I would think the top of the line player is going to choose where he wants to go, and he's going to go to BC or Michigan or Wisconsin.
Yeah, I would say the NCAA is a good measuring stick if you're at an NHL ready.
Right, but there's also guys in Canada, right? There's guys in Canada who maybe he's born loving the Peterborough Petes, and he's like, I want to be the top scorer there. I want to go. I want to get drafted out of the Petes and play there the whole time. So that's just an interesting
it is
new development for hockey as a whole.
Yeah. I've always wondered why they always have to go down one track only. Prospects, so it'd be interesting to see it changing moving forward.
It's just two organizations, It's the NCAA having their own thing, their own organization, their own setup, and then it's the CHL.
They got to make money with the sports. I mean, colleges make money from football, obviously, but hockey as well, I think, is becoming more popular.
Yeah, well, which is great, I think.
Yeah.
Another thing I want to talk about is there was some projected roster lineups for the the Four Nations?
Right. We were talking about this.
Well, so what's your take? Because you had a pretty good take.
Well, for the Team Canada, none of the Canadians made it. Suzuki didn't make that fourth line center, unfortunately, which is surprising because there are at least a couple guys on the squad that I take Suzy over him. I know maybe they're looking for positional. What's down the middle? Obviously, we got McDavid, Crosby, McKinnon. Who's the last one? Point? Is it Braden Point?
Might be Point. Does McKinnon play center? Are we sure about that?
Yeah, I'm so sure that McKinnon's the center.
All right, well, either way, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of guys above Suzuki.
But why not the fifth? Or,
Also,
alternate.
Why not just bring in another center who can play wing? Like, they can all play wing, even if they don't prefer it.
Yeah.
And you think getting someone from the Canadiens, which is a massive market in Canada for Team Canada.
I think they don't care. The league doesn't care about Montreal.
Oh, Come
The
on.
league cares a lot better of the other Canadian teams, specifically the Leafs, and obviously Edmonton because they got McDavid.
Yeah.
We don't have our superstar guy yet, so maybe I would be interested to see if our visibility goes up if we had a guy like McDavid
Well, yeah,
or
obviously.
Matthews.
Oh, so if you got the best player in the league, you think your visibility would go up? I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah. They wouldn't get.
our best visibility so far is Suzuki in that commercial with the All-Star guys as
That's
well.
true. Is it not Caulfield though? Also.
I think he's been in. I don't know if he's been in a commercial, but I've been seeing the commercial.
The
where
Golden Age one or whatever.
It's like the Gen Z one.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like we're Gen Z. We don't work hard, and then
He's like Theragunning his arm, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
pretty funny. Like,
Yeah, it's pretty
like,
good.
all right, Seuss, get the Theragun, go to town, and then just say something.
you just say something funny or say something good. Yeah, there's at least okay. Forgetting about position, you got Barzell and Lafreniere
Yes.
over Suzuki.
I was gonna bring that up. Yeah. He's an animal. He has visibility. I agree with you up to an extent here. He has visibility to the rest of the league and to other fans because he's on a big market team like the Rangers.
Yep, I
Montreal
agree.
Canadiens, but the Canadiens and
But
the Rangers.
Barzell?
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I don't know about that.
I don't know about that
but
one.
the Lafreniere, it's just like he obviously is on a big market team and he has made the playoffs and he produces in those playoffs. So other teams see him and are like, wow, he's finally, he's picking up, whatever. Like you don't really get to see that postseason effort from any of the Canadians.
Yeah,
the last
but
couple
his
years,
ceiling,
so
he never hit over 60 points yet in the season.
maybe he will this year.
He will, but Suzuki
It was projected
has.
too. It wasn't like a final roster.
Okay.
There's potential
Maybe
for Seuss to make it.
Yeah, maybe there's still time for him to make it, but
You think Caulfield's on the American team though?
for sure.
It must be, right?
Dude, easily. What is the Canadians are stacked, of course, but the Americans like
I think the Americans are the team to beat. America's got the best goalies.
Wait, what are the teams again? I'm not
Yeah, you're right. Finland,
Finland?
Sweden,
Okay.
Canada, U.S.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like Finland is more competitive than the US team.
No shot.
They got a lot Finnish players.
Name one Finnish goalie.
Okay, but
That's a massive part. You have like a backup who's like Antti Ranta.
Who's the American goalie?
Hellebuck,
Oh yeah.
Ottinger. Come on.
I
Those are
totally
the
I totally
You walked into
biff
that
it.
one, dude.
I totally biff on the nationalities of
Yeah.
goalies.
Yeah.
Canadian goalies are weak, obviously. Monty, there was talks about him being the starter for this, but I don't think so
Not
anymore.
anymore. Well, who would be over him? Binnington.
Yeah, they put Binnington. At least he won a
Hate
cup.
that though.
I'm not a fan of Binnington
No,
either.
But I mean, you look at the U.S. team. They've got Matthews. They've got both the Kachucks. They got Caulfield. They have.
I guess I just don't want. I have a bias
They're
against Team
deep.
US.
Their defense is gonna be awesome. McAvoy, Werenski,
Oh, okay,
Hughes. They
yeah.
have all the Hugheses.
I underestimate the U.S. like
Fox, of
nationality
course.
and people on the team.
Dude, yeah.
Fox is American. Wow.
Of course he is. He's from Long Island. Let's get into the games of the week. Okay, game one, Habs, take it away.
Game 1 Habs was on Tuesday against the Flames, and that one led to an OT loss.
Got a
as
point?
It always does.
Got a point?
We got a point, but I'll get into OT later. First, I want to mention, I'll give them props for this one. They were fast, competitive. They kept it close. It was 0-0 for the first period.
You don't see that these days.
But it's rare for us. As I said, we give up goals within the first 10 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
I would say the general highlight of this week is Brendan Gallagher. That's why I got him up right now.
Hey.
He got 3 goals in these 3 games that we had this week, and he had a goal in this game. Him and Joel Armia. Our first line is just getting shut down. They didn't score a goal at all this week.
Yeah,
It's a
not good.
huge issue. Our secondary scoring is not enough to compensate for the lack of scoring of the first line.
Yeah.
But in this Flames game, they were fast. There was a lot of chances. They outshot Calgary, but in a lot of those chances, they couldn't bury it. One change that they made was Jake Evans to the second line, which
Okay.
I liked. It's been
Okay.
working out. It's been working out well.
Whose spot did he take?
Doc's as
So-
a center.
Where's Doc?
He's on the first line, so it's
Gotcha.
first line Sue's Doc, Caulfield. Second line, Evans, Slav,
Okay,
and
Slav's
they
back, yeah.
switch between Newhook and Heineman
Yeah,
sometimes,
yeah.
but Newhook's there.
Okay.
So that line has been sort of a brand new line. I think Jake Evans deserves it, partly due
Is he a
to
younger guy?
he's one of the more veteran
Really?
guys now on the team. He was in the Stanley Cup run.
Okay.
He was drafted
He's in his 30s though, you think?
late 20s.
Late 20s. Okay.
I think he's
yeah.
27.
Oh, nice.
27.
That's
or
young
20.
enough. Yeah, get him up there.
Yeah.
Might as well.
He's been a grinder. Him and Brendan Gallagher, I feel like, are the only ones that care. It seems like, in terms of effort,
Yeah.
it's those two as of recent. And you got bits of Joel Armia coming in. He, I believe, had a shorty this game, or he had it in another game. But him and Joel Armia scored. Oh, sorry, Gallagher and Joel Armia scored this game.
Yeah.
And although we weren't bearing it as we should have, we kept it close.
Yeah.
OT, whole nother story. We
Why?
lost in 7 seconds.
Oh, was it just right off the face-off?
Just right
rush
off the
into
face
zone?
back. Matt Coronado, I believe,
Oh.
just goes past Mike Matheson,
Yeah.
buries it.
Yeah.
Monty just so caught off guard.
Yeah, that's tough.
So we lost within the first 7 seconds. OT and shootout, I feel like we never do well in.
Yeah.
And, you sit down for OT, you're like, okay, this is going to be exciting. And then, boom, within the first 7 seconds, we're out.
Yeah.
Game's over.
Jeez.
At the Bell Center, too.
Tough one.
So, good effort all around, but we need to bury it. We had great chances. Dustin Wolf did stone cold us on a lot of big saves.
Yeah, yeah.
He's a rookie, I believe, in this season.
Yeah, I think he might have played last year, like a game or two, but he's technically a rookie for sure, I think.
Yeah, he played really well against us, and so good for him.
I never know what the Flames' deal is. Like, are they? It seems like since they, got rid of their top line all those years ago, that was like the best line in hockey, and they had a mini run in the playoffs. Like, I don't know. I don't trust them to be good. Obviously, they don't have Markstrom anymore.
Huberdeau, I don't even know
Huberdeau-
if he did anything
Yeah,
in this
right,
game.
right.
But
They're probably middle of the pack right now.
he's a far stretch from the
What he
100
was,
points in Florida.
Insane. Good for Florida.
Good for Florida.
Yeah,
that was, whew.
Yeah. Fleecing, I think.
Yeah, that was a fleece and a half. But this game, I think, represented the speed and effort that we should try to mimic most games. But yeah, we should mimic how we played against the Calgary Flames. Although we came up short at the end, we did get a point.
Yeah, point's a point. It's kind of like at the point of, do you care for points now?
Honestly, I could say I hate discounting the season.
Yeah.
It's
Especially this early.
Especially this early. It's only a month
Yeah.
into
It's
the
just been
season.
bad. 6 losses in a row.
I hate just giving up
Yeah.
just like within the first month
Yeah.
or two in the season. And quite honestly, we're all getting tired of it.
Of course.
And we're waiting for it to turn. One player I want to see more out of is Slavkovsky. And obviously the first line, but particularly Slavkovsky. He needs to be shooting and scoring more. He only has 1 goal so far.
Yeah. That's your 20-goal scorer, right?
20? We're hoping over 20.
No, but didn't he get 20
Yeah,
last year?
he got 20 last year.
Yeah, that's your 20-goal scorer, so he should be firing.
Yeah, he should be firing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. Things go bad when the first line gets shut down by the opposing squad.
Well, naturally, it's going to happen to most teams. But speaking of just the no effort, the rest of the week, how it went for you, that's kind of exactly how game 1 of the Rangers week happened this week. So I want to start by talking a little bit about a tweet that was sent out. Kevin Weeks takes a picture. Not even usually it's just his half his head, and he's like, "Oh, reporting from whatever." He's hilarious, but it was a picture of the financial district in New York with a nice sunny day, and it's just he says 11.5 question mark with the eyes emoji.
11.5.
So I'll explain what that means. But this was, I saw it like right before the game. I think it was an hour, a couple hours before the game. But it's referencing, oh, potentially there's a deal out there, or maybe it's getting done, maybe it's being worked on for Shesterkin.
Oh, okay, yeah.
11.5 million a year. I'm sure it would be for 8 years. And so Rangers Twitter, the whole fandom is going crazy. Like, oh my God, wait, is it actually going to happen? Are they going to do it before the game? Like, what's going on?
Oh my
And so
gosh.
everyone's getting in a tizzy about it. And then in the first 20 seconds, the Buffalo Sabres score. And then the first period, it's like 5-0 in the first period. And Shesterkin just looks like...
Really, within the first period, they scored 5 goals.
It was
Something-
reminiscent of the no-show Canadiens game from last week.
Right.
So I was thinking the exact same thing. I was actually at a bar watching it, and I asked them to, like, put that on before Thursday Night Football came on. And then after the first period, I'm like, you just turn, turn Thursday Night Football back. Because there's no point. I mean, they looked asleep. They looked dead. They're still running the same lines
At the Garden?
Was it at the Garden? I forget, honestly. Yeah, it must have been because the Sabres were in white. So I think so.
Wow.
Looked bad. But they were running the same lines from last week that they had switched up. So it was, Kreider and Zibanejad are not in the same line anymore. They have, kind of all these different players around. And, you're going to expect some lack of chemistry there, but it was just...
Not against Buffalo.
Well, also, yeah, you'd think Buffalo is the team that you should dominate. And you should announce, hey, we are the Rangers. We're the same as last year. We're here to stay. We're going to kick your butt, like, no matter how we do it. And they looked horrible. But I do think there's something to say about that news, the 11.5 thing, being sent out before the game. I think when the $11 million contract was released, that was meaning Weeks or another reporter leaked that the Rangers offered Shesterkin $11 million. This was, beginning of the season.
Yeah.
And I think that was right before the Utah game that we played Utah and we lost in overtime. But again, Shesterkin let up 6 goals. So I think there's definitely a correlation between this type of news getting out.
He needs to tune out of the
news.
news.
Well, agreed. But I think it definitely can get to you as a player, as a person, seeing
What about the rest of the team?
Yeah, and it could affect them too. It's like that's what's up in the air, and you hear that and you see that, and we don't even know the extent of what 11.5 means. Does that mean Shesterkin accepted it and they're just working through the details? Does that mean it was presented to him and it's kind of another pressure move to say, hey, now everyone knows Shesterkin, we've offered you 11.5. Are you still not going to take it? Because that's $1 million more than Carey Price got, and so it's just all these things going around, and I think it really, goalies in particular are a special breed of person that they have a mental game that they're battling the whole game.
For sure.
A little bit differently than players, skaters.
I think a lot differently, yeah.
I say that because I think players and skaters have a mental game going on too. I don't want to discount that,
for sure.
But I do think, it's different for goalies. And having come out twice before a game where Igor lets in a couple weak ones, a couple weird bounces, ones that he's usually square to, is indicative of, I think it's totally related. So, Weeksy, I love that he's breaking it, but hold it for after the game, maybe.
Oh, man,
for wins, right? And
maybe he was that confident in beating Buffalo.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's possible. The bright spot, I think, of this game, Jones played pretty well, and he's been battling for that spot. He's kind of been getting switched in and out of the last defenseman spot with Victor Mancini. So if Jones continues to put a bunch of good, solid games together, he'll probably win out, and that's what he's been looking to do, win out that position. So he had the only goal in this game for the Rangers. I think it was a 6-1 final.
6-1 final.
Actually, not true. It was 6-1. Jones shot it from the point, but it was actually tipped in front by Cooley. So Jones set up the play. Cooley made a nice tip, and it kind of just tipped it over. I think it was Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen's head, and then it just trickled
I'm surprised you can pronounce that. I always forget.
I've practiced. Yeah. So no-show, complete no-show. You have Jones playing well. You have Shesterkin playing terrible and getting pulled by Quick. I think Quick let it in 1, but really just not what you'd want to see. I was looking forward to a trouncing, a total beatdown of the Sabres, because I don't particularly think they're that good, and we got it.
Yeah,
back.
you'd expect it.
So
you'd expect it.
So maybe maybe the Rangers thought the same. They were like, oh, we don't have to worry about these Sabres, but
Do not underestimate the
never.
opponent.
You're in the NHL, man.
Yeah.
Figure it out. You want to move on to your game?
Yeah. Second game, Habs. It was decently competitive, but
You're
could
playing the
see
Devils, right?
the Devils are a fast team and highly skilled. They got great players on the squad. Watching this game made me realize, like, wow, where are guys like that for our team?
More complete team. They've been kind of going through the motions of, they're on the other side of a rebuild. They have all these core pieces. They have Heischer, they have Hughes, they have Hamilton, obviously Bratt, and now they have
They
a
got
goalie.
a good supporting cast,
Right.
like Palat. I don't know if Tatar does a lot, but I think he's a good locker room presence. A defenseman that we had last year, Jonathan Kovacevic, is now on the team. He's actually doing pretty well.
Yeah, they have a lot of young D.
They put up 2 against us within the first period. Just outskilled and outplayed.
Yeah.
It's not from a lack of effort this time around.
Okay.
They were just really good, the Devils.
So why don't we talk about the bright spots? Because I think the Canadiens scored 3 goals or something. So what happened on those goals, and like what led to that, and how can we see more of that?
The first goal was Alex Newhook. I know I rat on him a lot, but it was off an odd man rush. Or, no, sorry, not odd man rush. It was a giveaway in the neutral zone.
Okay.
And even my guy, Sheldon Keefe, mentioned post-game, I didn't think we did well defensively in the neutral zone. I think Montreal...
So neutral zone pressure is a
Montreal
plus.
did
That's
well
good.
with that in the neutral zone.
Mm-hmm.
And after that turnover, Newhook just top of the circle, snapshot in.
Nice.
His second goal is what I want to talk about a little.
This guy all of
a sudden makes like a play I've never seen a guy like him do before, and someone I've ratted on a lot. He looks like Connor McDavid out there. It was basically end to end, like behind Monty, takes it up alone, picks up speed, just goes through. I mean, to be fair, the Devils' defense at the blue line, at their own blue line, was a little scattered. They were near the bench.
Well, that's neutral zone too, right? Like if they don't have a great neutral zone presence, like you can kind of have a skater go pick.
Yeah, and he just weaves through, and pops. He does like a little pop move over Markstrom.
Nice.
And
like a Datsuk, like a bring it back.
No, he just
pop or what?
No, he didn't bring it back, or he just like popped it over, like just popped it over his right side. Yeah. And cool. Looking like Connor McDavid, and I'm like, where has this guy been this whole time?
Yeah.
Newhook has like these flashes, like of brilliance.
Has he always been second line for you?
For third line, he's
second, third.
Yeah. Last year, he was mostly on the third line, I believe, but it was 50-50, I think, for the most part. But I see him have these flashes of goodness, whether it's a snipe or a play like this, where his skating and puck handling looks amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And then most games he's just kind of floating around and doesn't do much physically. But this time around, highlight reel goal, amazing. For the third goal, I believe
Gallagher, right?
Yeah, it was Gallagher. Yeah. I think that was the tying goal. I'm not sure. It was either 4-2 already at this point. Gallagher, just one of our veteran presences that
he gets in the dirty areas and he like does the things that needs to be done. Like you need more players like that.
And it's going well for him this season right now as we're speaking. He has 7 goals.
Yeah.
That's
great.
That's more than enough
that's top of the league, top portion of the league.
Top portion, yeah. That's more than enough and good enough for me from a third liner now at this point, like Galley, and also a veteran presence. I just love how loyal he is to the Canadiens, and how, especially this week, it shows that he really puts in his effort, and he's at this point a die-hard Hab.
Of course.
For life, and I hope we keep him once his contract ends in the next couple of years, because he loves this team and he puts out his heart out on the ice every single game, I think.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we couldn't tie it back up after they scored the fourth goal,
Mm-hmm.
and they got an empty netter to make it 5-3. The Devils.
Closer game than a 5-3 game sounds then.
Yeah, closer game, competitive. It wasn't a blowout like Seattle or the Rangers or.
That's got to be the goal. Just play competitive games, like you said. Like it gives you a little hope. It sucks when it's pulled away from you every time or
Yeah.
most of the time.
Most of the time, yeah.
But it is.
It wasn't a game like Pittsburgh
or Seattle.
where we shouldn't be outskilled.
Oh, that okay.
And we should at least get more goals than one or two, right? Against and Seattle as well is one of those games. But yeah, that's pretty much Newhook and Gallagher again. Our second and third line doing anything in this game. First line shut down, nowhere to be seen. I want to see another switch. I bring Slav back on the first line at this point. Oh yeah, big part in this game. After the Flames game, Oliver Kapanen sent back to Europe.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I remember last
week.
week.
We talked about him a couple times.
Last week I mentioned he had one of the worst defensive one of the worst defensive forwards in the league.
Yeah.
And unfortunately he's not quite ready for the NHL.
Yeah.
He had 12 games played, 2 assists and like a -5.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's tough. He's like a 21-year-old kid.
Roster moves though. It's all right. Maybe he'll, he can develop more in Europe.
We're relying on Laval right now to develop a bunch of guys, not just Malieu, but Joshua Waugh. Yeah. We got Owen Beck, Philip Méjar.
Where's Reinbacher? He's hurt.
He's hurt. He had an MCL, ACL injury. He had to get surgery. Unlike Laine, they both had similar injuries, I think.
Yeah.
But one had to get surgery, and
interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
And I keep forgetting about Laine, but he's getting closer.
All right. And when? December?
Well, as of this week, he was skating on the ice.
All right. So a couple weeks.
So
probably 2 weeks.
I'm hoping another month.
Yeah.
Not 2 weeks.
You don't think?
That's too soon.
December 1st.
This mid-December.
Okay.
Before January.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, I don't know for sure.
Even if,
I hope before January.
I think what you should even if you're not going to make the playoffs, hopefully in late season you can string a couple of good games together and then maybe make a push. Even if the math doesn't work out.
I just want people to score and have it seemed like the first week we were having fun.
Yeah.
And now everyone is feeling deflated and they're really feeling the pressure of, wow, we are this bad again.
Yeah.
And we're not winning. So it's a little more serious this time around.
It is, but I think I saw something that was the owner of the Habs was
Molson?
Or maybe it was Gorton or whoever was St. Louis is not going anywhere. He has a long leash.
I agree. Which
is smart.
People are really upset at St. Louis.
What is he going to do? What else could he do?
The most recent game.
It's a skill
which
issue.
I won't talk about, but it's a skill issue. They're complaining that they're not letting Jack-Eye fight. He's not letting Jack-Eye fight, or he's not putting Pizzetta in.
Yeah.
To me,
both
that's very I'm tired of being. It's very, first of all, old school, but also it reminds me of the mindset how it was with Bergevin or the early stages of, we want big guys that are skilled and can fight. No, we just want skilled players.
Yeah. Fighting
should be on the back burner a little. I don't care if we fight at all. Jack-Eye could stand up for when it's a bad hit or when it's push out people in front of our goalies. But fighting is less of a priority. It's about development of our skills.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think you do have some of your top players are on the smaller end. So looking for size isn't a problem, but looking for a fourth line bruiser who can fight or a bottom pairing defenseman that's going to lay people out and maybe get a penalty probably doesn't help you.
Dude, the only one that's short is Caulfield.
Suzuki's not big.
Yeah, he's stocky.
Yeah, but he's not big. Right? Am I wrong? I thought he was 6 foot maybe.
Yeah, but that's a decent size.
I know, but
if you're stocky, he weighs a decent amount, as I mentioned the last podcast.
He loves talking about his weight.
But it's true. It helps him. it helps them.
I don't know.
Stay
Like
healthy.
I don't look at their roster and their sizes that much, but like I hear names like Newhook and
Okay, New Hook and Sue's, yeah, for sure.
and Suze
And maybe Galley.
Evans and Caulfield and Gallagher and like
Doc is a big
big?
guy, but
Okay.
he's not physical.
Yeah,
Physical.
right.
Maybe he's a little
He's
afraid
like-
of re-injuring himself.
it's just like
He hasn't had a full
I
year.
feel that same way about this guy, Zibanejad, who I have hung up behind me. Like he's big, and I was watching. Like he's big enough. I think he's 6'4", 6'3", or something.
That's pretty. Yeah, that's.
And it's just
big.
like he obviously is strong and has power. He can rip a shot. He never. I know it's not his style of play, but he never takes the body. And it's just like you look at guy. You need him to start doing that to be able to compete at the top level on a top line as a center. Like that's how you get far. You have guys who are skilled but also can get down and do the dirty things.
But to how far? Like
I don't need him to go and finish his check every time. That's not
Okay.
what I need. But I never see him hit ever.
interesting.
And it's the same. It's very similar with Kreider. Like when was the last time? At least Kreider, he has a little bit of an edge to him. Like if someone's going after him, he'll come in and I can see him being like chirping and saying stuff. Zibanejad, I've literally never, in my entire time with like loving this team, never seen him, yuck it up or chirp back, get like pissed off. And I think a pissed off Zibanejad is something that the league should like be afraid of, because I think he could unlock another side of himself that's like, he's always just the calm, cool, like, yeah, Mika Zibanejad, like.
I find that surprising.
I've never seen it, and it's
Even Panarin hits.
Yes. Panarin will do a reverse hit. He hit Oshie like in the playoffs. Yeah, he's got he's a dog. He's got that. That's not his game, Panarin, but
If he needs to
he
pull
can
it
do
out,
it. Yeah,
he can do it.
and he's not big either. He's like 5'10" or so, and he's not like yoked or anything. But he can lay a hit. He can mess him up from the net, something like that, if he needs to. So it's just I'd like to see that from our supposed top line center. Do you have anything else on your game, or do you want me to move on?
Doc invisible.
Yeah.
First line invisible. There's a lot more I could say.
Tough. Okay.
Galley, love him.
Galley's the Mr. Consistency.
Mr. Consistent in terms of just effort and putting his heart on the ice.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your second and last game of the week.
Yeah, it's weird. I feel like every week they only have 2 games for some
That
reason.
means
These last
late season it's
suck.
going to be more.
Yes. So little bit tiny change with the lineup, or with at least the line combinations. They have Kreider, who last game was playing with Hedel and Kakko. They've moved him up. I kind of think of it as like the old man line, even though they're all probably like 30. But it's Kreider, Trocheck, and Smith now.
Okay.
And so it's like, I think they all do slightly different things. I think Smith.
Wait, that's the second or third line?
It's kind of all up in the air at this point, because I think the Cooley, Hedel, Kakko line has been some of our best line.
So they play
It's
them
been like our best
both
line
evenly.
this year. It's pretty even, and that third line that is what we started the year with, which is the Cooley, Hedel, Kakko line, was actually getting more minutes because Laviolette identified, hey, these guys are actually playing better than Kreider, Zibanejad, so let's elevate them, put them up. So I think it's very even though for the 3.
Yeah.
And in our fourth line, we have VC back, which I think I talked about last week, and Edstrom, who's been a solid guy, and Carrick. They were very noticeable in this game as well. Like
This is what Detroit, right?
Yes, this is second game of the week was on Saturday. It was against Detroit. We end up getting a 4-0 win, but again, it's more of the same of like, we're getting bailed out by our goalie, even though Quick is in net. Quick played lights out. I think he made 37 saves.
I feel like every time he starts, he does really well.
Yeah. He's great. He's 38 years old, I think. Oof. And best American goaltender of all time, probably.
Yeah.
And he has
a cup.
He's 3, I think. He has 2 with the Kings and 1 with the Knights.
Wait.
He was a backup.
First of all, I didn't know the Kings won twice.
Yeah.
Second of all, I didn't know he was on Vegas.
Yeah, dude.
What?
That's we got him from Vegas after their win.
Oh, man.
But he was a backup or a third string or something.
Sometimes you lose track of people's trades.
Yeah.
Like, I think Domi is one of them, but yeah,
Domi's
continue.
Up, yeah. But so all that to say, small line combination change. I mean, the result tells you it worked, but if you actually watch the game and you see some of the underlying stats, the Rangers had 24 shots. They scored 4 goals. They got outshot, and the other team had 37 shots.
Patty Kane is like, you should have signed me.
I don't know. I just
Was it
don't
a
think
money
they
thing,
wanted-
or did
No,
he actually want to go to Detroit?
I think it's slightly a money thing. You think about who the Rangers have to sign.
Just
still.
imagine if he was on the Rangers.
Well, he was
though.
on the but I don't know.
With this
he's
lineup.
aging though. He's aging. Like I think he's sick still. I liked him having him on the team, but it didn't work out. It wasn't going to work out. They made it clear. But it's tough because you get a win, but you don't really see things moving in the right direction. You still see poor defensive play. You still see just bad defensive zone play. And you have your goalie bailing you out, which is great, but you can't rely on that. And that's not a team that's going to make a deep run. That's a team that's going to get bounced in the first round.
I feel like it's been back and forth. The first game you mentioned, blown out.
Yeah.
Both the goalie and offense doesn't show up. And then this time, it's the offense
Is there.
but the Shesterkin,
Quick
Quick just blows it out of the water.
There was a funny stat that I think my brother brought up to me, which was when the Rangers score first, they win I think 99% of their games this year, and when they don't score first, they lose every single game.
Wow.
They've only had 3 or 4 losses now, but that is an interesting kind of trend.
If I were the opposing team, I'd
yeah, of course, you make
basically
note of that.
say that.
The thing is, though, in the past 3 years, the Rangers have been the best comeback team in the league. They'd be losing going to the third period, and I would literally go into those games being like, I mean, we're winning this. It doesn't matter. A 1-goal lead is not safe. 2-goal lead isn't even safe. So it's troubling to see that this is where we're at, and it's kind of bringing me back to 2 years ago, the time we got bounced in the first round by the Devils. It was like we kind of had a rough start to the season. It seemed like everyone was just kind of like, let's get to the playoffs and then we'll turn it on. And by that time, no one's playing well enough to, even though we were, I think maybe we were higher seed than the Devils, something. We didn't play well, and they got us. They got to us. We couldn't score. Our 5-on-5 was terrible, and they
what was
bounced us.
do you remember what the series?
It was 7 games.
7 games. Okay.
But we're coming in playing against Akira Schmid. You remember that?
Yeah.
And they had backup goalies that were shutting us down. It was horrible. But
that guy's nowhere now.
No, I don't know where he is. I think he's
he's
either out of
gone.
the league or AHL or something. But so this whole score first thing continues tonight. Rangers seem to be dominated at 5-on-5. They draw a penalty, and our guy Kreider, which we've talked about plenty of times.
Love it.
Love him. The best tipper in the league, tips one in on the power play right in front of, it was Ville Husso playing tonight. So that's momentous for them because they can go on and end up winning the game 4-0. But also for Kreider, they brought up this stat mid-game. He has 113 power play goals with the Rangers. The record is 116. So
Who's
he is
the record?
I knew you were gonna
Rod
ask that.
Gilbert?
No, it's not Rod Gilbert. It's shoot, I forget.
Shanahan?
No, I forget. They said it on the broadcast, but I totally forget.
Regardless.
But he's 3 away, so
He's gonna beat it.
Should get it this year. But it's incredible, and I think every power play goal he scores, I want to bring that up because he's gonna go down as one of the best Rangers in history, which is kind of crazy.
It's not saying much, but
Oh my God! Get out of here! Get out of here! I hate that. No, so Kreider scores. They go into the first intermission. Come out. Second period looks a little bit better. They get 2 goals back to back. Vesey with his first of the year, and Panarin just doing what he does, firing on net, which is great. We'd love to see that. We'd love to see Panarin
Nothing from
getting
Mika?
points. Nothing from Mika. And that's part of the reason why I brought this jersey here today. It's another thing. We've called him out a little bit before. I want to make sure.
So maybe that'll get him going.
Well, he had 3 points against, who was it? The first day that they changed the lines, I think against the Islanders. He's kind of feasts against the Islanders and the Flyers usually. But
also against Montreal, he was pretty.
Yeah,
he
did.
He got a goal.
He's up and down. And so he had 3 goals against the Islanders, and then he obviously didn't have any goals against the Sabres or points. And then in this game, he wasn't really on the score sheet. So it's just you're supposed to be our guy. Where are you? Don't know. So, yeah, it ends up that gets us to 3. We kind of get bailed out a bunch by Quick. Like I said, 37 saves. And then third period seems to be slipping out of our grasp, but we've built up enough goals and insurance to keep
To
them
cruise
out.
a little.
Yeah, to cruise. And then we have Riley Smith score an empty net, kind of pretty much from the goal line. So, just good
Wow.
snipe by him.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's really just still concerning. I mean, sure, we get to, I think we sweep the Detroit. We play them 3 times. Maybe we play them another time, but we take that season series for sure. It's just still troubling. Like the D is not, the possession, the defensive zone is just not good enough. And I guess we got 2 5-on-5 power play. We got 2 5-on-5 goals, which is a good trend, but everything else is pointing in the wrong direction. The shot allowed is in the wrong direction.
The goalies can't take it from us. The goalies cannot steal the night every night.
Yeah, so they're going to need to keep working at it. I still have faith. I don't have any other real call-outs in like a coaching staff or anything. I believe in our staff, and I feel like...
Do you think any trades will happen before the deadline?
I mean, Lindgren has looked so bad. And
Really?
Truba's looked better, but everyone knows that
There were talks about
gone.
him. Yeah.
He's gone after this year. So
Yeah.
everyone, I feel like if there's the right thing in place, they could do it. But that's a big thing to trade your captain mid-season, like not at the deadline.
It'd have to be another D.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I feel like everyone's looking for D right now.
Yeah.
But
we are. We
yeah,
are.
Lindgren has not been good, and he's still playing with this like half shield visor, full shield visor and
Why doesn't he just
cage
recover
combo.
more?
That's what they should do. Bring in Mancini, give him more time. It's fine. We're early in the season. We're still winning for the most part, but that's what I could see. I mean,
Or at least scratch him.
Yeah.
Just to recover.
I do think they're going to stick with these lines a little bit more. I think the Panarin, Zibanejad, Lafreniere top line should get more leeway. And then having Kreider with Trocheck and Smith, I like that. It's feel like they're all kind of good workers and like can grind out some good minutes, tough minutes. And then that Cooley, Hedl, Kakko line has been awesome with possession. Kakko looked a little shaky this game, but it's kind of just let's try to. We got to give it enough runway so that it gels, I think. And it's been 2 or 3 games, so hopefully by this time next week we'll have a better outlook on it.
I mean, the Rangers were the President's Trophy last year.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't expect that this year.
A month in, how is it compared to last year? Did you guys also have a good start?
Yeah. No, we had. I think last year we just had like a moment in time in January where Igor looked like not himself. Like it was like a month where he just looked horrible. And before that, we were solid. We were top of the division. That month in January, we were like, oh gosh, this looks bad. But we again built ourselves enough room to just be ahead of everyone else. And then after January ended, Igor was just lights out. He's like, it's time. February, okay, we have like 2 months till playoffs, and he was Vezina caliber. So I think they definitely look worse and less cohesive as last year. Maybe that's just because teams know how to play against them a little bit better. Like last year was a new system with Laviolette. This year it's the same system, but teams know the system now. So it gets easier.
I'm actually always interested. How well does the coaching staff know their opponents? Like,
I mean, they have
quirks
They have so many coaches, and I'm sure they have video sessions.
So they just constantly look at the video.
I'm sure they have
footage,
scouting reports, and they're like, this is the play that they run off the face-off a lot. I mean, that's just typical type of like teaming stuff that they would have going on. So I'm sure they know, but you got to think like, I mean, things go out the window when you let up 4 or 5 in the first period.
Yeah.
Right. So
that is true.
Yeah. That's all I have for that game. So we end up with the 1-1 for the week. It's like, kind of seems like we're moving in the wrong direction because we're getting more losses. I said earlier in the season for us that I wasn't concerned about it at all, and I'm not, but it's getting to the point where I might be like, oh my gosh, are we really going to be like a wild card team? We're not there yet, but
yeah, I think you would know January, you have a feeling
it's just like
where you're going to be.
I have less confidence for sure. Like I had more confidence at the beginning of the season. We started pretty hot, and now it's kind of like, wow,
because you see
we're
other
losing
teams
these
now.
teams. Yeah, you see the Jets that are just destroying every team.
Washington.
But, yeah, Washington too. But okay, so that actually brings
Carolina.
up Tuesday. That's true. Carolina too.
Aren't they a division rival?
Yes, they are. But we haven't played them yet. But Tuesday is a big test for us. We play the Jets.
Ooh,
So
that is. I'm gonna check
big.
that one out.
It's hopefully it's going to be a goalie matchup, and hopefully we can stun them. But they are the hottest team to beat right now in the league. So
I just don't see. Just touching upon that Jets thing for a quick second.
Yeah.
I just don't see them sustaining this.
Well, I feel like this happens every year. Everyone gets so pumped about the Jets. They have like pretty.
They have great players.
Yeah, great players, great goalie, and then they get to the first round and like maybe they win, but like there's clearly some issues, and then the second round they lose.
Yep.
And that's where you
sort of
prove
like
it.
the Leafs. They're in a Leaf situation.
True.
If they get past the second round, I'll be like, okay, this is a team that's
prove it.
actually threatening.
That's why it's like That's why it's impressive what they're doing. I think they had the best start in league history this year. They have like 14-1 in 15 games or something.
Or I could see like first round if they do like completely blow it out and play well, and then maybe take it to 7 in the second round. I'd be like, okay, this team is here to stay, but they do need to make that jump. Eventually.
Yeah.
I feel like they've been that team that always gets eliminated in the second round.
I feel like them, and whenever the Flames are in the playoffs,
I feel confident.
Like,
if I were Montreal today and somehow we made the playoffs, I'd feel confident against the Jets.
Really?
I mean, we basically beat the same Jets team, did we not? We beat Hellebuck. We beat Kyle Connor. The only difference was Scheifele took himself out of the series by taking a run out at Jake Evans.
True.
They basically have the same team.
They have
Josh
They've
Morrissey.
added a lot though, and I think they've gotten a lot better. That Appleton, they got
Niederreiter.
Ehlers, right? Niederreiter.
Ehlers was in that series.
He was? Okay.
Yeah. Maybe they were less mature then. Pionk.
He was in that series too.
Yeah.
But still, I think they've come a long way. I would. That's what I'm watching for Tuesday at least.
Yeah. That's going to be a great one.
Final game of the week for the Habs against the
Yeah,
Leafs, the big inter-country rivalry.
This is the one, as always,
Dagger.
with any Leafs game or Bruins game. I want them to be competitive. I want them to show up. And unfortunately, it was the exact opposite. It was not good.
I texted you middle of the game, or right when the game started. This is a massive Leafs choking.
And you were like, "Go Habs," basically.
Yeah,
and I'm like, "Let's
I'd
go."
root for him. It'd be hilarious.
Yeah, it's like, let's go.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I'm ready to enjoy a Saturday night rival.
Yeah. Hockey night in Canada.
It was, dude, it was just not good. Galley being the only scorer, but by then it was already 3-0. And before he scored, they gave a shorty.
Yeah.
Well, I'll get into that. But Saturday night at Toronto, and we had a total of 4 shots up until the halfway point of the game.
Oh,
I'm telling you, 4 shots
that's
midway through
horrible.
the second. I mean, I guess Toronto's just good without Matthews on their lineup, but
yeah, that's true.
where were we? There was.
You know what? We should start pushing that. Toronto better without Matthews. They should trade Matthews.
We should. And go to where should Matthews? Would I like Matthews if he was on another team? That would be an interesting question.
What's your second favorite team right now?
Second favorite? That's tough.
It's got to be in the West, right? You don't see that often.
I mean, I like Utah, but I'm biased because I have players on my fantasy squad on
true.
Utah.
Well, I'm just saying, like, if you saw Matthews out in Utah, like, lighting it up.
I like Edmonton. Or Canucks.
No, you can't choose another Canadian team.
Hey.
Come on, that's sacrilege.
Thinking. Colorado. I like Colorado.
Yeah, but I mean, those are teams that have won or gotten close.
But
maybe
I like
Utah.
Colorado because of the players.
That's true. Well, they're hurt too.
Lehkonen. I love my my Arteri Lehkonen.
Dude, if Matthews went to the Avs, that would
suck.
Come on, I'd hate.
But I like him better.
Yeah, I'd like him on Utah, I guess.
But I wouldn't determine I don't know.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Getting back to the game.
Getting back to the game, Galley, before he scored, we gave up a weak shorthanded goal. Matheson at the point, and I keep saying Matheson turnovers a lot because the reality is he has the puck a lot.
Yeah. It's
and
gonna happen.
He's our best defenseman.
Yeah.
So he turns it over in the Toronto O zone. Marner comes down the line, passes it to whoever, I don't know, some stupid Leaf.
Yeah.
The Leaf shoots, and then the rebound goes back to Marner. Suzuki, he has Marner right in front of him, in front of the net. He doesn't do anything. He just lets Marner take the shot, and then it goes in. Shorty goal on a power play.
Low effort.
Low effort, very low effort. And I knew then and there, I'm like, okay, they just gave up.
Yeah, that sucks.
Because right after that goal, we still have 40 seconds on the power play. Galley gets another ugly one just right in front of the net, bats it from in the air.
Oh, nice. Baseball style? Nice.
And he goes back to the bench, and he's yelling at everyone.
Yeah.
No, not even that. He's like, he's
Wake up.
He's like, wake up, basically.
Yeah.
What? He's like, what the are you doing,
Yeah,
guys? Come on, let's go. Let's get it
Yeah.
going. And that really pumped me up. Even though nothing else happened in the rest of the game, I'm like, this is why this man is still here.
Yeah.
That's why we love him.
He's the heart. You're right.
That's why, even though he's not scoring, we forgive him a little more than the others because he is one of our big leaders. And if Suzuki weren't there, he would definitely have the C, because he's just that guy for us, and hopefully forever a Hab. Other than that, though, we just didn't show up. We put on the tires a bit for the third period in terms of the shooting efforts, but nothing.
I think
Stone cold by Wall.
Yeah.
A Wall.
Wait, no, I thought it was Stolars. Was it?
No, it was Wall.
It
in
was
that.
Wall? Okay.
Yeah, that's how disrespectful they thought of us. Because Stolars is actually playing well.
Yeah, but Wall was supposed to be their starter this year.
But he was
But he
before
hasn't
this.
played. You're right.
Before this, he was
Stolar's
not
been
playing
good,
well.
Yeah. I think and I sent you this picture. We can maybe pull it up on the YouTube. But I think the best sum of this game is when Dvorak was going in hard for a puck, and he must just catch an edge, and he gets on his side, and he's like sprawled out, but hits the boards like almost like a cartoon, like sideways. Hits the boards, and it's right under, I think it's a Can Air logo, but it's right under a maple leaf. It's like a red maple leaf, but still, you just see clear as day his name, Dvorak, his number, his face is like,
face planted,
and it's
parallel
right
to the wall.
It's parallel to the wall, and it's right under a maple leaf, and it's like, that is exactly how I feel right now. Dvorak, thank you for that.
I wasn't even mad when you sent me that. I was just laughing. I'm like,
Well,
yeah,
it's hilarious.
Yeah,
it's like, dude, this guy's a professional player getting paid millions of dollars to play, and like, this is the effort you're giving, dude.
Yeah, he's actually paid as close to Gallagher, I think.
Probably.
He has $3 million.
Yeah.
And that's when I say it's a skill issue, because we got players like him and Anderson. Anderson just got deked out on the first goal.
Yeah.
Forgot the guy's name, some Timmins guy or something.
Timmins, probably.
Yeah. He scores his first, but it's a skill issue because he just goes around Anderson so easily.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh, man.
you'd want to see at least the effort there against a rival like the Leafs, and we come up short once again. And this guy, the only guy doing
Only one.
anything,
Right.
along with Jake Evans, but the heart and soul is just this guy right now.
All right, so one person to score more than a goal this week. Who is it?
Slavkovsky. I want to
More than one goal. You think he'll have two this week at least?
Oh, it's who I want or who I think.
You could do both. Who do you want and who do you think?
Okay, who I want is Slavkovsky.
Okay, you want Slav to have more than one goal this week.
More
Okay.
than one.
Okay.
So I want him a multi-point.
What would
game.
you bet on?
What would I bet on?
More than one goal. If you could just do like a weekly prop bet.
I put it on New Hook.
New Hook to get
New Hook or
two
Evans.
again. Okay.
Yeah.
Because he had 2 in one game, New Hook.
He had 2 in one game.
That's your fantasy pick? If you saw him, you'd be like, all right, I'm going to
But if guaranteed one goal, Gallagher, but multi-point, New Hook or
And
Jake
you
Evans.
want Slav.
And I want Slav.
Okay.
Ideally, I want the full first line.
Well, right.
But Slav most of all.
Yeah.
He's our #1 overall pick. Somewhat high expectations after how much he's been paid.
Yeah.
I know he's got it in him. That's the thing. I know the top line has got it in them.
Yeah.
They just need to find out a way to fight better.
Yeah. For me, it's hard to choose. Like, I see what you're saying. I think if I had to bet, I'd bet Panarin. He's just been our best scorer.
But the
But who do I want?
the payout would be so low on that because
Well, that's
Panarin's
true.
just going to score.
So I guess I wouldn't. Maybe all right. If I don't choose Panarin.
For me, one more. Sorry,
Okay.
Lane Hudson first goal.
First goal. That's what you want.
I would put money on it.
Okay.
It's coming.
It's coming. It's almost there.
It's almost there.
All right. More than one goal this week for the Rangers. I would say.
This is not sponsored by any gambling thing.
No. Who do I want? I want Trocheck. He has not really been scoring at all, and I think that'll light him up. And I mean, I obviously want Zibby too, but I'd rather Trocheck get it at this point. And who would I bet on? Of course, Panarin, and then I guess Kreider. You gotta just bet on Kreider getting it on a power play. Come on.
Why
Getting
not?
close.
Why not put $50 on Lafreniere getting a hat trick?
Why would I do that? What's the payout there? It's probably huge.
It's probably
Laffy getting a hit.
Quad that.
All right. Well, if you just called that for this week, if Laffy gets a hat trick, that'll be nuts.
That'd be crazy.
I'll bring you some cookies or something.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Eggless.
Eggless, of course.
But yeah, other than that, not much more news other than Weber. There was like kind of a highlight last night on highlight reel for Shea Weber because he's going to be inducted to the Hall of Fame. And out of all the Habs, out of that cup run, and out of the Habs over the past 10, 12 years, I miss Shea Weber the most.
Yeah.
And obviously Carey Price, but Shea Weber, just between the defense and the forwards we have, he was just an awesome, steady leadership. Mature,
hardest shot in the league forever.
Just an awesome defenseman, and that we really miss having that type of person around.
You need more of those, just like consummate professional, great player, everything.
Always level-headed.
Yeah.
And when you did see him get
level-headed, but he also he could go out there and kill a guy.
Yeah, when you saw that happen, you get so hyped. Yeah. You're like that. You feel
That's
like
remember when he just he would block like so many shots, and then he just God.
So I miss him. After that cup run, he was just calling it too much injuries. He was playing injured.
He had like a broken ankle or something.
Yeah,
something like that.
It probably screwed him up.
Well, tribute to Shea Weber. Definitely deserves it.
Definitely deserves it.
And congrats to him.
Yeah.
Cool. That'll be it for our show. Please like, subscribe, follow, tell your friends. Check us out on YouTube or Spotify. Anything else?
And we'll see you next week, and hopefully we can get a win for the Habs.
I'm hoping for multiple wins for the Rangers.
Just all wins.
All wins. 5 wins across the board. Great.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.